Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the podcast, another episode of Caffeine and Green with your man, Connor Cardenas. And before we get into it today, I just want to give a huge shout out to the title sponsor of Caffeine and Green, which is 7 Seas Roasting Company, coming straight out of San Diego, California. My home roaster, and most of the time where you'll find me during the week. Now, what's so great about 7 Seas Roasting is that we're doing things a little bit different in specialty coffee. We're working with coffee farmers in villages in Laos and Vietnam, and we're bringing those coffees to life. But along with that, we're also showcasing other amazing coffees, Colombia's, Ethiopians, Guatemala's, Mexican coffees, which is coming down the pipe, so get ready, y'all. Now, full transparency, I am the head roaster at 7 Seas, as most of you know. But regardless, I think by now y'all know that I'm giving you straight fire with that coffee. So what I want you to do is head over to 7seasroasting.com, put in my code C&G at checkout, and you're going to get a deal, which is 3 bags of coffee for $30. I mean, that's a no-brainer if you really think about it, because 2 bags is $32 right there. So you're essentially getting 1 bag of coffee for free. It's a no-brainer, like I said. Now, right now, we have the El Jaguar, which is amazing. It's chocolate. It's nutty. It has a little bit of orange zest up front. We also have an array of new Lao coffees. The Katuat Village, we have the Phodom Kwan, and we also have the classic Setapung. Now, we also have some other things coming down the pipe, again, like I mentioned, so be ready, but that's what you have to choose for, and we have amazing, they're amazing coffees. I really hope you guys enjoy it, and again, use that code C&G at checkout. That's CANDG, and you're going to get that deal 3 for $30. Now, unfortunately, the charity coffees, which is the Kaha Collective and the Spikes Roast, don't come in this deal. But you still have so many coffees to choose from, it's all G. So head over, guys, C&G at checkout to get that deal. My guest today is none other than my brother from down in Chula Vista, holding down Squeegee Prints, my brother Juan Castellon. That's right. He absolutely kills it on a skateboard, in business. I mean, he's a jack of all trades. What else can I say about him? But in all seriousness, he started Squeegee Prints, a very successful screen printing company that's been around for now 10 years. And it blows my mind. I've seen him grow from one little warehouse to now owning both facilities or one facility, just both warehouses. He explains that. But either way, I've seen it grow, and I had to have him on the show. He's hustling, he's killing on a skateboard, and he's running a business. What more can you ask for in just some people who are trying to motivate, trying to make a difference, trying to get it. Without further ado, Squeegee Prints, my brother Juan. This your time to shine, homie. Let's go. Caffeine and Green. It's your boy Connor. What's good? Good. Caffeine and Green. And we are live. Boom, son. I fucking finally got it. Cheers. Juan Carlos, you are in the house.
Thank you, man. I'm honored to be here.
You're on Caffeine and Green, sir. Welcome. It's about... you didn't even have your headphones on.
Nope. But it's all good. I'm ready.
Dude, yes. Welcome to the show, man. I have to say, the reason we got linked up... I mean, we've been homies for a minute, but Nick Shields, when we were doing the piece on Shieldless, and then we also had them on the podcast, he was like, yo, Juan hit me up. He's like, yo, he wants to be on the show. I'm like, oh, shit. I didn't even think about you that way, and I'm so glad they said something, because you fit the criteria of what needs to happen, and like for you to be on the show. I feel like.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, dude. I'm super stoked to be here. Like you said, Nick was doing that. He was videotaping the shop and doing a little segment on Squeegee Prints. And we were talking and chatting about you. He was telling me that he was doing a segment on you too, or you're doing a segment with him. And then, and so I was like, you know what? I want to get in on it.
Fuck yeah. No, that's perfect. Cause when he mentioned it to me, I was like, dude, why didn't I think of one? Cause I'm I didn't honestly know if I'd even get this far as with as many people that I've interviewed, like a lot of people I've never met before. But now you're going to be, I think, 65, number 65, and you're always been there. And I just, in my fucking head, or like always like, oh, I'm fucking running out of people. It's like, dude, no, there's so many people I haven't even tapped yet. Dude, please, anybody, including yourself, if you have people, throw them my way. Be like, bro, you need to talk to this fool. You need to talk to this guy, or like, this guy's super sick, or I know this story. Anybody, DM me, slide in the DMs, y'all.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna send you some stuff.
Yeah.
Anytime I see someone or anything that comes to mind, I'll just direct message you.
But they gotta be killing it though, like you are. I mean, so for the people who don't know you, and let's introduce you, is that you own and operate Squeegee Prints down in Chula.
It's Chula Vista.
It's Chula, yeah.
Yep.
And it's your own screen printing business.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about it.
It's a screen printing business that I started when I was about 19 years old. I got out of high school. I didn't know what to do with my life, and got kicked out of my house for dropping out of college. And I was living with a bunch of friends, and I was just really determined to figure something out. So I was trying out different things. I was trying out like mechanics and art and a bunch of other different stuff. And I was like, you know what? One of my homies had kind of showed me the screen printing process, just sort of like putting ink on the screen and screen printing it. And I was just like, so like amazed by it. And I was like, dude, I have to learn more. I was like, how do you get the stencil on the screen? And so my quest kind of began there, and I devoted my whole life basically to learning the craft of screen printing. And we are 10 years old this December.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Has it really been that long?
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Congratulations.
Awesome,
that is
man.
amazing. 10 fucking years?
Yeah.
I remember going to the third year party that you had down there. You had a band playing in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think you had just gotten the other side, right? Because the first year you were like still just in that little space with the root, you had like the dude doing the air, like the front side air in the back. Or no, wait, that wasn't right. No.
Oh, that was the second.
What was the original one? What the original? You always had a mural, even when you had the smaller space.
Correct. Yeah, I had this. Pat Beek is the one that did the murals, so shout out to him. By the way, he's the guy that you should definitely interview. Yeah, I had the original space, and then after about, I want to say 2 years, maybe 3 years, we decided we were outgrowing the space and we needed to expand, so we took over the spot next door.
Sick.
Yep.
Did you get to knock that wall down?
Yeah, I did it myself. It was really cool.
Dude, was it hella sick? Did you take a
badass.
sledgehammer and just start just like fucking passive aggressiveness? Just fuck that.
Oh yeah, dude. We were flying karate kick. We were just everything. WWFs.
Dude, what? Just people elbowing the fucking the load bearing wall.
Yep, basically.
Boston. Stone Cold Steve Austin, that bitch.
Yep, and then we got to cut it all up with a jigsaw, so that was pretty cool too.
Damn. And again, going back that first year or so, it was just you, and then by the third year, I think you had like 1 or 2 guys apprenticing for you.
Correct. Yeah.
How many guys do you have now?
Right now we have a team of about 4 people, not including myself.
Whoa, you have 4 employees, G.
Yeah, but sometimes it goes up to 6 depending on how busy we get. Sometimes we need some extra help, some extra hands, so we got some extra people in there.
Dude, okay, right there. This is what I want to know. I've seen you come from like the first year, which is crazy to think. I didn't realize it was that long. But now you have 4, upwards to 6 employees. How does you feel? How does that make you feel as like a boss, number 1, and then also the same part of that, and number 2, as like, do you ever trip out on it? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's a trip. Nobody ever thinks of it this way, but I have like a social responsibility, to my employees. They're not just my team; they're like my family, and I have to make sure they eat. I got to make sure they're taken care of. So it's a big responsibility, and I'm super stoked to be working with a team I'm working with. For real, they're super dope. Everybody on the team is on point, and everyone is devoted to the craft, and
It's a lot of passion in the building.
Exactly. It's
That's
a lot
what's
of
up.
passion in the business. So it's a lot of feeding off each other and just getting better and better at our craft. We're just like, figuring out, troubleshooting at all times, figuring out what's best, constantly like beta testing, seeing different results with different inks on different fabrics. So it's a lot of stuff, but it's really cool, to be honest.
Dude, that's what's up. Do you guys like, aside from just, vibing off each other, do you guys put on tunes that are you all somewhat similar? Are you all different in that sense? Or you're like, oh, you got to hear this new slapper right here, son. Like, yo, this is like getting me pumped. And you're just like in there, just, I don't know exactly what the terminology is for when you're like screening a shirt, but you're like, oh, son, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? Everyone's a little bit different. We all got different tastes in music, but for the most part, I noticed that a lot of times the records are playing at my shop. We got a shop
You have a record player. Oh, damn, son.
Yeah, we got a shop record player, so a lot of the tunes are pretty old and just different records, but we got a lot of jazz and blues. I'm a big blues fan and
really
a musician myself, yeah, so I play a lot of that stuff. And yeah, we just a bunch of different stuff,
Dude, that's fucking cool. Give me is like some oldies. Do you have like some like Jefferson Airplane type shit?
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah, we got everything from like oldies. We got reggae, roots.
All right.
We got all the old jazz stuff. We got the classic rock stuff, all the 70s tunes, Creedence, and the Woodstock recordings.
But this is the thing that's important to me. I feel like because a common underlying thread of all the people that I've talked to, especially like coffee roasters or anybody who is putting, I guess, like their passion into their craft, I would say, like, do you really feel that maybe the tunes that are in the air at the time, I guess, or in the area that surround you in your place of like creating, does that affect the outcome on your final product? I mean, I work in coffee, so I guess that could affect it a little bit, but I mean, I don't know. Does you feel like that maybe like would affect your screen printing day?
You know what I really believe? I honestly believe that it just sets the tone.
Okay.
So like, you know what I mean? If it's like kind of feel good music and it's like, which a lot of our records are, they're just like gonna set the tone for like a good day, good attitude, and like productive to get it all done. A lot of them are fast paced. Yeah. Cool. So
that's what's up.
Yeah. I think you're right in that aspect.
Dude, fuck yeah. I mean, and especially too when people can get down with the music that you're vibing to. Like, I've been to some places, and granted, everybody is fully entitled to their own music. And hey, if you like shitty music, that's fine. There's not a lot of shitty music out there, but every now and then you come across it, and you're like, oh, like that's tough. That's tough to listen to. And then somebody's over here just like vibing hard, and you're just like, damn, this shit's garbage, son. Like, all right, just let them get through it. And then they get through it, and then maybe like a somewhat more okay song will come on. But like I was in Phoenix one time, and this guy was just playing some like experimental, like just sounded like noise percussion. Didn't really have like a rhythm, and it was kind of like to like this like techno beat, and it was like a bang 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 bang, and I was just like, oh my god, this is like the worst vibe for a coffee shop ever right now. But he was vibing, so like, whatever. That maybe he was like just getting me through my day,
That's a trip. Yeah, I trip out on some music nowadays that you definitely know it doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how people do it, but
dude, it's weird when I look at records, I imagine just wax. Like, I in every sense of the word, like I feel it, I understand it, I know it. I can like almost feel like, I don't know how wax would feel, like that filmy kind of shit between your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
But when listen to some oldies or whatever, that same oldie that you just listened on that record that mom has, or like you bought it because it's around that era. But then you listen to the same song on like Spotify, and it's just like, it's just a track at that point. It's like an algorithm. It's not even like, I can't visualize the wax and like that kind of vibe, Does that make sense?
No, I know exactly what you're saying. There's actually something to that, and that is that when you digitize music, you compress it, so you actually lose some of the sound, and that's why it kind of sounds more dull or not as vibrant, because when the music is on on the record on the disc, it's still not compressed. So it has actually all the sounds. You could hear it the best, and it's almost more lively.
Yeah, I've heard that. But you know what's interesting too is who was I listening to? Is I either heard it or I was talking to my homie Bucky, who's an audio engineer, somewhere in between there. But this is quite recently. We were talking about how some of the first takes, like when people are like laying down a track, are like the best ones because that was like the most rawness and the most emotion and shit. And especially, could you imagine like putting that first take of raw emotion and then put it on wax, and then you can really like, I don't know, not to sound like super lame, but if you were like in a dark room and like turn the lights off and you like put on this favorite track and you could really feel that emotion through the music, like, oh,
yeah,
that would be tough.
Yeah, that's what makes your hair stand up in the back of your neck.
Yeah, dude. See, because I listen to so much music, and even though I'm listening to a lot of compressed shit, the message in the words and the meaning are still come across. But man, I'll tell you what, like I still hella remember Christmas always feeling a little bit more like Christmas when my mom would bust out her records, and she had like Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton's Christmas. I love when they sang that shit. Yo, that whole record, and just my mom would put that on, and like
it's gangster shit,
dude. It set the vibe, bro. Mm-hmm. And with the whole act of putting the record on, you bring the needle over and it like sets down and starts that and then the song starts. Like, boom, son. I fuck with that hard.
Yeah, same here actually.
Have you seen it like Urban Outfitters that they have fucking record players on sale, and then they've remade modern albums like the Fugees, the Scores on vinyl.
Yeah.
Nas is on vinyl.
No, I have no idea. I don't go in there, but
dude,
I believe you. I believe you.
Dude, I don't frequent in there, but I remember just walking in there. I was all, that's actually kind of legit.
You're like, damn, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, damn, what the fuck? And then I was like, whoa, okay, I can get down with this. But
yeah, they're marketing. Yeah. They're marketing to me. Damn, it's effective.
Fuck. And it's hip hop. Like,
yeah,
I could really be into this right now.
Yeah.
Damn. But anyway, sorry, that was like a complete tangent. But so 10 years, Squeegee Prints. We got 6 employees.
Yep. So 10 years, I basically say we're a professional apparel printing studio, and we specialize in apparel printing with water-based and discharge ink. So it's a type of ink that's super soft. You can't really feel it. It's really eco-conscious, and it's just overall super pimp.
Super pimp. Fuck yeah.
That's right.
I love it. And so are you, I mean, of course you started off mainly as a t-shirt, like you were doing tees, you were doing Route 44, which is how we met originally, was through Route 44 skate shop. Fuck, if that was 10 years ago that you've been at the shop, then I probably met you 11, 12 years ago, because I met you before the shop.
Yeah, that's right.
Fuck. That's so crazy. Okay, so we met through Route 44, but that's also another reason why, not every guest that comes on the show skateboards, but you, sir, you actually skate. And this has been another underlying theme of the whole podcast is like, when I have real skateboarders who do like really fucking cool jobs or own their own business or something, I'm like, you skate. Like, full say they skate, but like you actually skate. You know what I mean? When you when you get better, when you start to understand what it takes, and like that drive and that mentality and the way of thinking has led you from your skateboarding life into the real life, and you have that same determination and drive. Because some people are like, yo, you have so much drive, you're tripping, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't. I was talking to this guy, Andrew Beernut, who came on the show a couple days ago or last week, and he's like a successful male model for sorry Andrew if I fucked this up. It's Dolce & Gabbana.
Yeah.
And so like I asked him, I was like, bro, what, he's like, dude, I'm not hurting myself. And he's fucking gnarly skateboarder too, like fucking huge rails, big gaps. And now he's this like very successful, very good looking model. It's like, bro, shout out. Yo, you fucking killing it. How do you do it? And he's like, bro, I'm not hurting myself. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, same thing. I do coffee. I'm like, bro, you're not hurting yourself. This is easy.
Yeah.
All you got to do is use your brain. Like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually apply my same type of mentality for skateboarding into my business, sort of.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like just a keep trying over and over and over. Even if you already landed it, even if you already made it and it's okay, like, you could still do it better.
Yeah,
It's like when you film a clip and you see it and you're like, nah, fuck that. I could do that way better. Hold on, one more time.
Yeah. And
Run it
everybody's like,
back.
nah, it was sick. It was sick. You're like, nah, it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Like you still got it, but it didn't feel like when it actually looked good.
Yeah. And I try to, I appreciate everyone's like good feedback when they tell me sick, fuck yeah. But like, in my head, I'm still like, nah, I could do it better.
Yeah.
And I try to never stay satisfied in that sense of like, oh, I'm satisfied the way it is already.
Yeah.
Like there's so much stuff I can improve,
Always.
I'm constantly doing that with everything.
Yes.
Anything
100%.
Yep. Anything we devote our time to, we should have that mentality. I swear we will progress so freaking much.
But it's not even, it's like, yes on all of that, but at the same time, if I feel like you can get good at skateboarding, anything else that isn't skateboarding, you can really, I mean, aside from another extreme sport, of course, but I mean, okay, you can jump down a fucking gap, you can do a frontside invert on the top of this fucking wall, like whatever, but there's either land or slam, essentially. I mean, you can kick out a bunch, but eventually I don't know any skateboarder that you might kick out an entire day, but eventually you're going to try to stick one if you're a real skateboarder. And at the end of the day, it's either land or slam, and you're either going to fucking break yourself and wait and just like think about that shit for months and then until you get like better and then you figure it out again, or you just stop skating. And those are some people, they just stop skating. But that mentality, when people understand what it takes to really advance to that level, and then you get past like just, all in a couple stairs here. You're like, nah, son, like I fucking tray flipped that 6 over there. And then it's like, oh, a 6 stair? You tray flip a 6? Like, oh, maybe I can do like an 8. And then all of a sudden you keep going and going, and then like, or you're stand up front side 5-0 on like a 3-foot quarter pipe. Oh, and then you see this other transition. It's like 4 to 6. Yo, I'm gonna hit this 4 to 6. Oh, and then before you know it, you're like deep end, stand up 5-0 grinds, pull coping. That shit is hard. Yeah. That shit is real, real hard. Anything else after that, like, bro, if you have half a brain, you can be successful. Honestly, it takes like, I just thought about this as I was saying this out loud. I've been listening to so many rappers, and I think that's why I fuck with rap so hard. Like when people talk about like winning, any positive rap, I'm about. You hear a song and it like might be jazz, and somebody's just like, yes. And I'm just like, love that song. Yes, positivity.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, like I legit heard a song like that the other day. It was just like, yes. And then like it would go, dun, 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 dun. Yes. Great song. Like that one. But the point is that it just, to just be able to like take that mentality and apply it, you can really be successful. And some people who never understand what it really takes to fucking break a bone, work for something, and get to that point. Because, bro, I mean, when the circle gets smaller, the higher up you go. You know what I mean? And then so you start to recognize all the people who are like good, somewhat good, next level, then goddamn, like
yeah.
But it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and then a lot of those dudes who are on the goddamn level, they're like, I'm up here by myself, I gotta kick it with all y'all. So like you end up having these homies who are just like next level skateboarding good, and then so you end up all knowing each other, and it's just like, fuck yeah. And then you see everybody just killing it. That's why shout out Shieldless Mag, Nick Shields and Ruben. They have that whole segment, Skaters Doing Things. Dude, such a fucking sick segment. I mean, you're on it. I'm going to be on it. Fucking, I don't know, homeboy from PDX. Whatever your name is, homie. Shout out to you. And then they got Ruben fucking killing it, dude. Like,
it's a really ingenious idea for sure. Like interviewing all the skaters that are doing stuff, because if you think about it, skaters are sometimes some of the most creative people that are doing stuff outside of skateboarding as well. Mm-hmm. And it's just genius to highlight that because, dude, we're all human. A lot of skateboarders are killing it, doing different things. They're not just skateboarders. They're like real artists or,
Well, dude, you know
technicians.
Tyrone is like a state representative, or like in Indiana.
Is he really?
Yeah, boy, like, he's
Damn.
fucking killing it. Like,
God damn. See,
skaters
that's what
in
I'm
high
talking about.
places.
Yeah, dude, skaters are everywhere, man. It's a trip.
Dude, but I mean that then bring it back to like what you're doing. You're a business owner. You're not only a small business owner, but you're a business owner with 6 employees at times, 4 on the regs. And I mean, are you making moves where the point where you're handling everything on your own, or do you have like everything set up like accountants, lawyers, all that shit? Like,
So right now I'm actually establishing a team. I'm trying to establish a team with a couple more people, put certain have basically certain positions filled where people can really focus on that exact thing, so I can make my business run as fluid as possible.
yeah,
And it's definitely challenging because there's a lot of variables involved. It's not just like a product that we offer, it's really a custom service. So every single project is different, and I have to be very aware of that. And we have to figure out what's most important for our clients at all times, make sure we're doing everything right.
dude, that's what's up. Do you think when you talk to your clients, I mean, I've thrown some clients at you before in the past, and then, I mean, do you find that you're looking, or actually, what I really want to ask you is, like, what do you rather work with? Like, what would you rather work with? People who are just like, hey, I need some shirts printed, don't care, whatever, here's the logo, done. But then you might have somebody like Ruben and Nick who come in, or even John when we were doing Remind, that were like, yo, we got this like shirt that we're actually like really fucking stoked on. Can you do this shirt? Like the middle finger. Do you remember the zombie middle finger t-shirt that you made for us?
Yeah.
That shit. Yo, I ran that shirt till that shit had holes in it and it was like falling off. Like, I was like, no, this is my fucking favorite shirt. It has a zombie middle finger.
Fuck yeah.
John's like, we need to take that shirt down. We were at Outdoor Retailer and it was just like not the skate crowd, and they looked at it and they were not impressed.
Yeah, they were just like, no.
They were like, nah, I'm saying, like, this isn't happening. Salt Lake was not feeling that shirt.
Yeah, I hear you. There's a right place and time for everything.
Yeah, right. But what would you do? You like, does it matter to you, or do you like which maybe one better than the other?
What I find out is I really like working with companies that have the same goals that we have, and that's pretty much just to make a really quality product. Okay. As long as our values align there, like, we figure it all out along the way, those are the really good people that we like to work with. Solid. And a lot of those people, they're small businesses, organizations, people that are throwing events, a lot of different things. We're super fortunate to be working with a lot of people in the community, so I'm really, really grateful for sure.
That's what's up. Now, do you think, I mean, with any business that it's just starting, especially, now that you're 10 years old, did you find at first it was really, really hard to get consistent work? Or was it like hit the ground running and everybody was down?
Yeah, it was really difficult. When I first started, it was right around like 2009. So of course the recession had just hit in 2008, and everything was really down. But it's all about the struggle, and there's adversity in there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
fucking love the rose grows from the concrete cracks. You know what I mean? Like,
son. Are you quoting Tupac right now?
No, but I was just some random shit.
No, that's what's up, because dude, that's what it is. It's hustle and motivate always, like forever and ever. And I think for me personally, hearing that's the shit I want to hear. I feel like that's the shit not enough people hear. Honestly, especially today with like phones and everything, like we're recording on a fucking phone right now. The thing is that you need the phone just as much as you need to get your fucking message out. But there's so many people now who just look at the phone and they don't do anything about it. I try to look at the way I justify it to myself is like, if I'm using my phone, I have to be working on something. Like, I have to be using this for a fucking purpose. Like, I can't just be like sitting here scrolling, looking at some fucking, oh, this person has a way sicker life than I do. Like, no, fuck that. Like, you got to go out and make your fucking life happen, bro. Period. Fuck the IG, fuck the phone, like whatever. You're just gonna go out and you live your life. You're gonna remember it, or do you give a fuck about putting it all on IG? Now that's, I feel like maybe somebody who might be listening to this might be like, yo, I'm on IG fucking all the time, but it's also, you have to work, right? I'm my own social media person. Like, until the day I can like get somebody to run my IG, be like, hey, blah 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 blah, this is going on. I have to do it, but it's a tool. As soon as that shit's done, son.
That's right.
You
That's
know?
right. You gotta be disciplined in that way.
It's
Know like when you're having too much, because that shit is addicting. You get caught scrolling all fucking night or all morning, and it's like a waste of time. So I definitely just try to like get work done, and when I'm on there, just as long as it's work related, get
exactly
that done.
as long as it's work related. Now, what I know we've kind of gone over some already kind of in-depth details about this stuff, but for me personally, maybe on that hustle and motivate, is like, what motivates you to do what you do? Is that a mere survival, or is it like, yo, you're trying to be like, you know, Rick Ross, the boss type shit? Maybe not exactly, but you get the analogy. Like, you're just trying. Are you trying to run shit? Are you just trying to survive? Or like, what motivates you? Period.
Yep. What motivates me the most is, or what I could say, like, what fuels me the most is the gratitude behind the finished product. Like, when somebody expresses that their visions literally came to life, and we made them come to life by separating all these colors, breaking them down into every screen, putting it all together, and finishing it completely, like the actual process, and then like turning it in, and then being like, people being super grateful for it, that motivates the shit out of me.
Damn,
that is like
that's
the
fucking
most motivating, and it's really sick, because like,
that's sick.
that type of motivation is good because it's everlasting as long as you do a really good job.
Yep.
It never ends as long as you do a really good job. And that's sort of in my I guess my key to success, some people may say. You know, it's really that. It's just keeping the customers super happy, making sure that their products are just exactly the way they want them.
Yeah, dude. That's tight. I mean, for people who can't even see you, I mean, who might not be watching, but just to hear you talk about that, that's fucking gangster, son. Like, that's why I've always, if I ever get a chance to be like, yo, somebody's like, we need to make sure it's, I got the guy. I already fucking know where we're going to go. But to hear you and to see you talk about it the way you do, it's like, yo, all y'all need to go to Squeegee Prints, period. Like, yo, this man be putting passion into what you're doing right there. I love the, I don't even, je ne sais quoi. I don't even know what to say, bro. That's what it is. Like, I just see you talking about it, and it's like, fuck yeah. I mean, and then the vibe you're getting. And then the other thing I wanted to touch on was the art pieces that you have. You still have both murals up, yeah?
Yeah, I still have both murals up. Yep.
So art's like, that was one thing that stood out to me. I mean, again, throwing it back to year one and then going over to even year three, I think I have two photos in front of I have one photo in front of the original and another photo in front of the second one at the 3-year party.
Uh-huh.
And they were just so sick, bro. I mean, it was Route 44. It was fucking, Route 44 is like Chicano almost. Had the bandanas. It fucking, it had like the pool skating. It had the Route 44 like shit all over it. Both murals. And that to me was like, yo, I fucking love art. I have scooters, like shout out Scooter. Scooter tat here. Route 44 is like a big part of my life. It's kind of weird because I don't know like the new Route 44, but around that heyday when it was still over there on El Cajon, like, dude, I trip out. You know, not to tell people where I live, but you know what I mean? Like, I live so close to where the old shop is. Yeah. And I see what it is now, and I'm like, fools will never even know.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
I don't even know what the fuck they're building there, but it's like,
who knows?
Do you just
some
remember
big
like
commercial building or some
Scooter used to just be out front with his long ass hair, smoking a cigarette on that little fucking broken ass table that was sitting up.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, yeah, I got the reason why I put all that stuff up, that Route 44 stuff. Shout out to Route 44. They, I got to really pay homage to them and Matt.
Fucking
Matt, the
love
owner, Matt.
Yep.
Love that guy, dude. He
Shout
really,
out Matt. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that really pulled my coat and really showed me what's up for real. He showed me like pretty much everything in hindsight, and
Really?
yeah, he kind of inspired me to like, you know what, start Squeegee Prints. You know?
Did he really?
And not only that, not only that, but he was the first one to give me opportunity to print something for him. So like nobody,
was he the first account?
Pretty much, like you could say he was the first person we really started printing stuff for, and like I just remember he told me like, hey, if you print something and it's good, like retail wise good, like shit, we'll pay you for it, you know?
Dude, and the hats, your 5-panel hats were so fucking sick, bro. When you started doing those, the fucking camo one, that was like that weird camo. It wasn't like the normal one. And then you had just the bar Route 44 in red.
Oh, yep.
I ran that shit till it was done. Thanks, bro. There you go,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yeah, I fucking realized I didn't need it. I just like, yeah, you need another beer.
Oh, it's all good.
Fucking cheers, bro.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's so fucking sick, dude. That just I don't know if I've ever told you this, but some of the homies have heard this, but like Matt was actually, aside from Brandon Richards at Val Surf, who like was the first dude who ever hooked me up with boards. Like he's like one of the Richards. He's one of the original owners. He's like the son of Woody, one of the original owners, and he was the first dude who like, he's like, show me a tape, I'll give you like a free board a month. And it was like, boom, Val Surf forever. Like no matter what, that's the shop. I moved to San Diego. I went to PD and like was talking to Jesse Corbet about like trying to get on, and like I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But it never really happened because I was on me or whatever. It was kind of whatever. But when I was like, yo, I need to get a shop sponsor, my board sponsor at the time, which was I think it was like Habitat Flow or something like that, they were like, yo, you need a shop sponsor. I had everything else, like sponsored by shoes, had like a board sponsor, had these things, but no shop sponsor. They're like, you're in San Diego, you have Willie's Workshop, you have fucking Route 44, you have like all these big name shops. What the fuck? And then so I obviously knew Willie, but I wasn't gonna like, I was like, oh, yo, that's
hard to approach.
It's super hard to approach. But I know him, so it's weird. But I walked into Rook, so my dad was in town from the Bay Area, and I was all, hey, let's go to this shop real quick. I just want to like kind of talk to these guys. So it was between Willie's and Route 44 in my head. I was like, this is the only two shops that are like that you can ride for. They're legit as fuck. And Matt was in there that day, and we ended up talking, and he's like, wait, you're looking for a shop sponsor? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I've seen your animal style parts. And I was all, yeah. He's like, dude, you want to ride for the shop? And I was all, shut the fuck. Like, no way. Stop. Like, and he's like, no, I'm serious. And then we started talking, and my pops was there. And my pops didn't really think much of the skateboarding thing for years. The whole time I was doing it, he didn't give a fuck about it really. But then he was standing there, and Matt's like, no, straight up. He's like, I already seen your parts. You don't have to give me a sponsor tape. He's like, you want to be on the shop, you're on the shop. He like this is what I remember, is that he like put his hand out, and I just looked at him, and I was like, dude doesn't even know me. He's only seen my parts. He's down. And I was like, Route 44 for life. At that moment, I just like shook his hand. I'm like, yo, I'm down. And he's like, grab a hoodie, grab a t-shirt, grab a stack of stickers, and like I think maybe a board or something. And I was like, yo, that was it. And Route 44 for life, bro. Loyal as fuck. That's like, yo, that's why I got the tat.
Yeah, no, dude, I hear you. That dude taught me so much, not just about business but just like how to treat people, you know, like real genuine stuff, dude. That like, man,
that's what's up.
Yeah, you can't like, you know, it's part of the journey of life. You meet those people that really just like inspire you, and like Matt was really one of those people. So shout out to him, man. That's my homie right there.
Dude, do you still keep in contact with him?
Yeah, for sure. I still talk to him for sure.
How's he doing? Because I know he had like some health issues before.
He's doing good the last time I talked to him.
Yeah.
He's getting better.
Dude, it was fucking crazy. When they were doing just like when the other shop had closed, the one that was over by Washington Street, on like that little back road that went back over there for like a hot second. I was living in the Bay Area, and I would like fly down to see Leslie, and one random weekend it was raining, and I like Leslie had to do something. I was like, hey, they're doing a pop-up shop. I'm gonna be in town this weekend. I was like, would you mind if I grabbed your car and like drove down to the pop-up shop? It was right next to Till 2 or wherever the new shop is right there. And I went there and I seen Matt. I hadn't seen Matt in like years at this point, bro. I was all, what the fuck? Like instantly, like hella geeked out as a grown ass man. And still, I mean, I rode for the shop for years. I saw Matt all the time, but hadn't seen him in years. And I said, "Fool, let me get a photo. Let me." You know, like, and he smiled, and it was just like the sickest photo to see him out there. It was raining. He had this hood on, just all Route 44'd out. Just like, yes, dude. Fuck yes. Like that right there is why like I wanted to be a part of Route 44. I mean, hands down.
Man. Everybody, honestly, everyone that's part of the Route 44 family, you know, they're just like kind of like really genuine people.
Dude, it is, because it's not, you know, it's not that shop is skateboarding to the fucking core.
To the core, yeah.
To the core. I didn't give a fuck. Dude, when I was living in the Bay, I would come down here and I would go see Brandon at the shop, at the new shop or whatever. And I just would see him there, and I would just go in there. I would just start buying all the Thrasher shit. Like, I bought a Thrasher hat, Thrasher shirt, hoodie. Like, this is where I'm getting my shit. And that's it. I lived in San Francisco, but I would buy my Thrasher shit at Route 44.
Yeah. It was super hard for me when they were closed for a couple years. I believe it was like 2 years or something like that. They just had an unfortunate event with them moving into like the wrong location, and just didn't work out. But I was devastated after they closed down, because I felt like a man without a country. You know, I just like didn't have a skate shop. I was like, where do I go?
Dude,
where do I go?
The vibe was so real there too at the original shop.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about that original shop? I remember watching what was it called? I can see it in my head right now, but I just can't see the name. Do you remember the TV channel that was all like surf, skate, snowboarding? Fuel TV. Fuel TV did a piece on Route 44 back in the day.
What?
And I watched it in the Bay. Like, as a kid, I watched it, and it was talking about how Route 44 was like a record shop / a skate shop.
Yeah.
They walked in the back, and they're like, yeah, you know, you're ever in San Diego, like, go check this fucking shop out, blah, blah, blah. Bro, I shit you not, when I started riding for Route 44, that was the first thing I thought about. I was all, oh, fuck. It was meant to be, G. Like, yo, that's what it was.
Yep. And I actually, I got a lot of inspiration for Route 44. Like, I play a lot of records, and I kind of got that idea of like, oh, setting the tone, you know, like that shop.
Yes.
Always punk records playing in the back.
Yep.
Or some, you know, some cool tunes. And then, you know, sick artwork everywhere. And it was just like a cool form of expression that was like, damn, this place is dope. And in a way, it's kind of a reflection of my shop too. So that's why you see the murals and skate shit, a bunch of art everywhere. Yeah. It's kind of just like that same idea.
Dude, that's so fucking rad to hear, because that's so inspiring. Honestly, that's what motivates me. Fuck, I love that shit, dude. Especially Root. I just think about all that. Like, as you're saying these things, I can remember when like the cash register was like against the right wall, and then at one point it like shifted over to the left wall, and then it was like, but in between all of that, you would see all the different, like, somebody would put like a little fucking, like, just a little piece of paper, and it's like a skeleton doing like a front side air at Washington Street, and there's like, you see the WSVT and all around the shop. But then all of a sudden at the same time, you would see like there was the time when like Lenny was working there, and then you'd walk in, and normally it's like punk or whatever, and then you would walk in and Lenny'd be playing like some Mobb Deep, or he'd be playing some like Latin music, and it was like, oh, who is this guy? I'm like, oh, I fuck with that. Like, yo, Lenny, what's up?
Yeah, you know what? That's the cool thing about skateboarding for sure. Like, we are all the same, but we're all so different at the same time. And
Yeah.
it's like those differences that make everything cool, you know? It's like if I do, you know, frontside flip and you do a frontside flip, it's the same trick, but we're gonna do it different. You know what I mean? Like,
100%,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, it's just that
We
style,
can, dude. We can
individuality,
honestly, yeah.
expression, however you want. You know, it's like,
Well,
we all
no.
do
So you
it.
can even say like the way you skate versus the way I skate. The way you skate, you can do frontside fucking inverts on gnarly fucking quarter pipes, which I've never even thought about throwing myself that way. Or is it backside invert or frontside? You do frontside.
No, I do a backside. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, backside invert, which is still fucking gnarly, and I've never done one in my life, but I might skate a ledge a little bit better, but like, yo, what the fuck? That's that expression I feel like you're talking about there, because I mean, that was the other thing too. I felt I feel like more than anything at that time in that heyday, like those were like the time Memorial opened up and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where like, yo, if you're going to skate, like Memorial was the park. They had bowls, they had fucking, the proving ground was everything at that park. Tech, fucking the keyhole,
Yeah.
or the big bowl in the back.
You got everything you need.
Really, and that was like the heyday. And it was like, yo, I'm gonna roll to Memorial decked out in Route 44. It's like I felt as what I had seen the people there. It was like bowl skaters, Washington Street. But then, dude, around that time, like you just started seeing all these other dudes coming out of Route 44. I remember Marshall Heath from Skate Mafia was rocking our shit for a minute. Brian Gilly, Alex, just like tech dudes, and that was so sick to see. I mean, definitely it was like differences, but everybody still fucked with each other. But you could definitely tell like there was like a different route vibe for certain different types of shit, like for like bullshit.
Yeah, for every style of skating, for sure. The cool part was that like I was saying, everyone was like different, but it was like a big family anyway. Like everyone was still cool with each other.
Yeah. Hip hop or rock or punk, whatever the fuck you want, is skateboarding, bro. That's another thing why skateboarding is so fucking. I've talked about this probably ad nauseum, but like when I lived in France, bro, those fools. I heard them. I was walking by the skate park as I lived in Aix-en-Provence, and there's like nobody really speaking English over there. And I was like walking by the skate park, and I heard these fools saying English words. I was like, yo, these fools speaking English? Like, what the fuck? And I went over to them, and in my broken French, I asked them, like, I don't even remember how to say it now. I asked them in French, do you speak English? And they were like, no. And I was like, in French, I said something like, but why? Like, I heard you saying, like, kickflip, ollie. Mm-hmm. And they explained to me in French that they were saying, like, yo, we speak French only. We don't speak English. But skateboarding, like, we can say the tricks or, like, the obstacle, because that's in English.
Yeah.
So they would like...
No, it's like a universal language.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, skateboarding, it's kind of a trip how it's become a universal language.
It really is, because the words are only in English for the most part. I mean, like, it's Espanol, you can call like as a andar. Fuck. I'm a little tipsy, so I don't remember what it was. But it's like, you could say skateboard, but it's like, it's not as easy as just saying skateboard.
No, I think a lot of... like when they describe it, of course they speak Spanish, but when they talk about the tricks and stuff, it's all English, because all my homies down there in Mexico just we use the same language as English, like for all the tricks.
Yeah,
it's just like maybe with an accent, geek flip.
Dude, I just thought about this. Wait, did I see a photo of you skating that bowl it's in Baja, yeah? And there's like a surf spot right outside of it. You can like rent. It's like a hotel or something, right?
Yeah, it's that one's called Cuatro Casas.
Cuatro Casas.
Yep.
4 houses.
Yeah, it's basically 4 houses at the end of this like cliff kind of, and there's like a point break, and there's just basically a bunch of cliffs and some old like shipwrecks and stuff there.
Yeah.
But there's like 4 houses on that cliff, and one of the houses right there has a bowl and is a hostel. So you see a lot of people is camping outside as well, because the guy will let people camp on his land for like a couple bucks, or they could sleep in the hostel for a couple more bucks. And then you basically use the bowl all you want.
They let you skate it?
Yeah, yep. You skate the bowl, and
Bro, we need to go.
There's a surf spot like right out front, basically.
Do you surf?
No, I don't. I can't say that. Yeah.
Fuck it though. You
I
can
suck.
just chill on the beach.
Yeah, I try, but I'm not a surfer.
Yeah, no, I'm not a surfer either. I mean, like I can definitely stand up. I can catch some waves, but
Yeah.
I'm like, if people are, oh, you a surfer? I'm like, no, bro. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I'll fuck around out there for a little bit, but like
yeah,
sharks
exactly.
or you trying to charge? Like, nah, bro. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm a skate rat, so you know what I mean? Like,
Dude,
what?
I
Yeah.
want to hit that bowl. I remember seeing a picture of you from back in the day, but the thing that reminded me of that was that I was a surf instructor because I would help push kids into fucking waves. That's not hard, you know. I'm
Yeah.
not. It's not. It's not.
Yeah,
fucking
you just gotta be a little
rocket
bit faster than them.
science. Yeah, and then just push them in it. They're like, you know, whatever. But that year that I did that, the owner of the shop was all, "Oh, we're gonna go to Mexico," and he's like, "Yeah, they got this bowl at this spot," and then they took photos of it. And I was looking, I was like, "This is a fucking legit ass spot. Like, what the hell?" And then I swear, like, it was either within a couple weeks I had seen you, and you were all, "Bro, look at this photo." I was like, "Dude, I just fucking saw this house. Like,
Yeah.
dude, it's got like I fucking need to go there."
Yeah, and then the legend has it is that the Washington Street dudes built that bowl. Yeah.
Is that for real?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I've heard the story a couple times. The story goes that the guy Richard that owns the spot, he came to SD and he saw that what they were doing at Washington Street basically, and he kind of heard, and he asked around and said, "Where can I find these dudes?" And
Yeah.
I guess a couple people have said like, "Go to this bar," you know, and sure enough, he found them at the bar, and he was like, "Hey,
Are
You
you
guys-
the dudes?
are you guys the dudes, and do you guys want to come build in Baja?" And he's like, they were like, "Beer, Baja, yeah, what the hell, what the fuck, yeah," like, you know, like they just
That's
totally
what's
were
up.
all about it. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah,
Dude, I fuck with, like, straight up, I've never wanted to speak Spanish more than ever. I mean, like, yes, I'm Mexican. And yes, I found out, like, my roots are pretty deep in Mexico. I got my 23andMe back. And that shit is, like, 51% Mexican, Native American, and, like, 49% Irish type of shit. That's like, yeah, bro.
you
Fuck
want,
yeah.
you want to
that's
get in
tight.
touch with your roots,
You know, get in touch with the roots. But at the same time, now that I've been in coffee and being this close to Mexico, is I've been getting friends through Instagram, and they'll be coming up, and I'll fucking shout out Bernardo, fucking, and then I can't remember the other homie's name, fucking Ricardo, I think, but they came Ensenada, fucking some dude came from Tecate, another dude, and then dude they listen to the podcast. They're like,
Dope.
I listen to your podcast. I'm like shout out all those homies. Like, I feel like disgraced almost that I don't speak Spanish as well, definitely at all. But going down there and just being able to get us around, or getting me and my wife around in Spain, like when they didn't speak English, it was like, oh, all right, sick, this is tight. But it's so clutch to living here in San Diego, especially if you're trying to like fuck with a little bit of Mexico.
Yeah.
Dude, Mexico's amazing. Just don't be a fucking dumbass.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Just don't be a fucking idiot is the main thing. Like, everyone's always all scared. Like, oh no, it's so dangerous. Like, fuck
Nah, bro.
that. Well, it's only if you're being a dumbass somewhere.
You have
You
to
know what I
speak a
mean?
little bit of Spanish, honestly, because like, and this is
It
not
helps,
this is
yeah.
not to throw shade at all, but it's like, dude, as soon as you walk over, fools are trying to get at you. They're like talking about like, treinta, autobus, like, where's it going? You ask like,
Yeah. It's like,
nah, like, where's it going? And they're like, oh, to the middle of the city. It's like, fuck you.
yeah.
And then you go across the street, you get like, he's like, oh, that's where all the fucking taxis are. And then they'll be like, yo, we need to go to like the middle of the city or go to a soccer game or something like that. And they'd be like, ¿Cuánto cuesta? They'd be like, siete what? $7. Son, right there. Boom, there you go. Like, yo, I'm down.
Yeah.
Super easy. Just don't be a fucking dummy.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Main part is like you know, you could get hustled really easy because
Super easy.
you don't know the language, you don't know the rates of anything.
Well, they're
know.
speaking hella fast too. I think that's what fucks with people a lot. When you
Yeah.
speak hella fast and they can't understand what the fuck you're saying. I was telling my wife, we were in Spain and we were walking around and I was like, it's so refreshing to walk around in Barcelona. I mean, granted, we were definitely in tourist parts, but we were definitely in like outside of tourist parts as well. Even when we went like 2 hours outside the city, it was so refreshing that people would speak slowly and just kind of like speak Spanish to you. Like they obviously knew you weren't from there, but some places you went, they didn't speak no English, so it's kind of like what Americans do, I guess, when like you're not trying to be a dick, you just speak a little bit slower in English and try to like let them hear what you're saying, and they're like, oh, okay, and then you can like respond in Spanish or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was chill. You didn't feel like, dude, in Mexico sometimes, especially when I was learning Spanish, like you gotta be on it.
Yeah, you got to be on the ball.
Always.
It's a fast language. It just rolls off the tongue. It's so quick that a lot of people are just like, what? I did not comprehend any of that shit. I was super fortunate that my family taught me Spanish as my first language.
Shut the fuck up. No way.
Yeah. So I'm fluent.
Your whole life?
Yeah.
Lucky.
I'm not like the best though. Like I still will go down there and my homies will be saying shit where I'm like, what? Because the slang is like forever.
Well, I was gonna say the
changing
slang.
it's like a different, you know, it's a whole different thing.
But dude, that's even within Spanish-speaking countries. Like I talked to my homegirl Laura from Colombia. I work with her all the time. She's like, dude, I'll go to certain parts of Mexico or like certain parts of like Puerto Rico or whatever. She's like, I don't understand what the fuck they're saying. And she's been speaking Spanish her whole fucking life, like in a Spanish-speaking country. You know, we're an English-speaking country, and your first language is Spanish. That's crazy. But you're living in a Spanish-speaking country, and you don't know what these fucking fools are saying to you in Spanish. It's like, yo, that's a trip. Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. I was like, it's the slang, or they speak hella fast. It's like, I don't know what the fuck you just said, bro.
Yep. Yeah, it's tough for sure. And it's still a trip when I go back every time, you know. Language is like, they might use different words and shit. It's like, you know.
Well, it's even in the region, I've heard. Like in Mexico specifically.
Yeah, correct.
Depending on which region that you're in.
Accent's different.
The accent's different. And then I heard that they'll use different meanings for different words.
Yep.
So I remember, this is like Mexico to Venezuela, but like, I don't know the word, but they like in Venezuela, motherfucker is like a word for something else in Spanish in Mexico, but it's like not that in Venezuela.
Yeah, I've heard. Yep, exactly. I've heard some stuff like that actually, and
Dude,
similar aspects, like in a different language. Might be in like some other language that's like very similar, Latin.
yeah,
That the words are very similar, but they're different.
yeah.
Or like the same word, but a different meaning or something.
Where is your family from in Mexico?
They're from Jalisco, Guadalajara.
Motherfucker, that's where my family's from too.
Yeah.
Dude, let's get a cheers on that
Cheers,
side.
man.
Dude, what if low key we're related? Like,
Yeah, we
I
probably
wouldn't
are.
believe it. I wouldn't put it past it, honestly.
Probably, man. Shit. Small world, dude.
Dude, I actually on a really weird, on that subject, I was in Los Angeles a couple weeks ago now. Have you been there recently, like to the Staples Center?
I have not. Nah, I've been to LA like shit a couple months ago, but I haven't been to by the Staples Center.
If you go next time, go stop by the Staples Center. They have a monument erected. It's like a black marble staircase, and it's fucking like a bronze or copper statue of Jeff Rowley grinding the fucking Staples Center, and it's like a couple feet back from the actual Staples Center's ledge, and it says Jeff Rowley. There's like a plaque, and it's like,
What?
Yeah, bro. I have a video of it. I'll show you afterwards. After we're done with this, I was tripping. I was all, has anybody seen this? I'm like, Instagram. I'm like, they have a fucking like.
This is
like,
a fucking statue.
a statue of him grinding a ledge.
That's
Like honestly, probably 50 feet from the actual ledge. And I just was looking at the ledge like, yeah, bro, this is fucked. This is so insane.
So fucked on so many levels. Like, you know what I mean?
So
Like,
fucked.
because you think about it, it's like, fuck, how far has skateboarding come? Like, where they just accept it, this illegal ass shit that, like, you know, fucking 10 years ago, they were like, they had security guards at that spot and they were saying, fuck you.
Dude, yeah, they would like tackle your ass. And now fools are like, yo, let me get on my Instagram real quick. Hold up. Yeah. I know I'm not supposed to be doing this, G. It's cool. Yeah, go. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and not only that, they're fucking making statues of a motherfucker.
Dude, statues, bro. That's what I'm saying. They erected, and it's not even all like the ledge that he's grinding. He's on his board. His board is like bronze or copper, whatever the fuck it is. And he's on this like marble black ledge that's supposed to be the replica of the stairs. And they have the stairs on it as well. It's insane.
That's fucking crazy.
It's by far one of the coolest, if not the coolest thing I've ever seen in LA. Period.
Damn. Yeah, and just to the fact that we acknowledge and we accept skateboarding like that, that's fucking big progression for society for sure. With, you know, all this social media and skateboarding has been covered so much, and it's been just really accepted in the industry by the industry because it's just ever growing. Yeah, you're just starting to see it now. People are accepting it, and they're like, yeah, for sure, skateboarding is cool.
Yeah. Super interesting. Because I remember, I feel, how old are you?
I am 30 years old.
30 years old? Okay, so we're relatively close in age. I'm not 30. But you were definitely around the time when skateboarding is not a crime, the Santa Cruz hoodie or the Santa Cruz t-shirt was a big deal. I remember wearing that shit all the time.
Yeah, it's a trip.
And now to the point where we have it in the Olympics. We're having statues erected. I mean, dude, if we were just born maybe just like a couple years later.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the industry just made it grow so much, and for sure everyone realized like, fuck, there's a lot of money to make off this shit, and people love this shit. And
it's still not
kind
there
of
yet,
I still think like also it determines like what the fuck is cool.
Oh,
like
yeah.
They, you know what I mean?
Dude, skate culture is like 100% setting the trends for everything. It's fucked up because back in the day, since we're pretty close in age, you remember back in the day, again, going back to the, do you really skate or do you skate? Back in the day, you used to be able to walk into any school, didn't matter where you were on the planet. You see the one homie wearing like a pair of S shoes, maybe a Santa Cruz sweater, fucking maybe a Zero sweater, some. You know, all that full skates. And you're instant homies. Instantly. Doesn't matter what type of music you listen to. Oh, you know who Tom Penny is? Oh, you know who Eric Costin is? Oh, yeah.
You just identify.
Yeah, I'm immediately. Now you walk in and you see fools rocking skate shoes, maybe some like tight pants, looser pants. They have the 5-panel hat. They got like a Supreme shirt on.
Or Thrasher.
Or Thrasher. And you're like, hey, bro, you skate? And they're like, nah, bro. Like, what? Why the fuck are you wearing all those skate brands then? It's cool.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Have you seen that video? I'm pretty sure it went viral. It was like some guy somewhere. I don't know where it was. I think it was Japan or something. He was like going around filming everyone in a Thrasher, wearing Thrasher, and just being like, "Oh my god, so cool! Do you skate?" And they would just be like, "No," or whatever. And he'd be like, "What? What do you mean? Where'd you get that hoodie or whatever?" And like, you know, the clip would end, but he'd ask like a million people, and everyone would just say no. But everyone was like wearing Thrasher or some kind of like hoodie.
That's fucking the owner of my skate shop. Shout out Eric. He came in the other day, and he was wearing a Thrasher shirt, and I looked at him, and he's a senior chief in the Navy for 17 years. That just, let's put that in. That's all that needs to be said. Homeboy didn't really skate. Shout out Eric, you're my boss. Like, yo, all love. But I looked at his shirt. And I was all, nice shirt. And he was like, oh yeah, it's like an echo because the dude Josh, who is our lead barista, he skates. Like he actually skates. He knows how to do tricks. And he had said the same thing, and I didn't hear him because I had my headphones in. But it was just such a trip. It's like, for me, honestly, it never gets easy. And, you know, and then when you start seeing knockoff Thrasher skateboard shit, that's what trips me out. I seen girls come into the fucking cafe wearing Thrasher hats that are like dad hats that you know goddamn well
That is not a hat, Thrasher hat. Ain't nobody at Thrasher ever make that hat.
Yeah.
That is a fake.
Mhm.
Bro, you know the fucking world is in a crazy state when you're spotting fake Thrashers.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yo.
it's a serious thing for sure. Fucking, it started,
it's an epidemic.
It's an epidemic. It's I don't know how it started. I heard it was like from models.
It was honestly for me, I think it was like the Kardashians.
Really?
I'm not bullshitting you, bro. Like
I had heard.
I have a wife, so I understand this and I can play this off this way, but like the Kendall Jenner, I don't know like what relation she has to the Kardashians. I think she's a sister or something like that. But she was wearing like a Thrasher shirt. And that like kind of is like what kicked it off. Like the Kardashians.
Damn, I didn't know that. I always would like, it was like a certain year. I want to say it was like 2 or 3 years ago before it became super mainstream and everyone had it. It was like a bunch of models would come out with it modeling and they were like in their little like maybe like undies with like a skater like a big baggy like skater Thrasher shirt. It's almost like they slept with some skater and they're like, he left his shirt.
They're like, I really liked it. It smells like him.
Yeah, or like something super dumb like that. Like maybe, you know, Dylan Reader or something like hooked up with some chicks at the time, or, you know, some model skateboarders.
Dude, that's
and then like
possible.
I don't know. That's what I heard.
Do you
Like,
need another beer?
oh no, I'm good.
You're good. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Shit, all right.
Yeah,
That was way good.
Fuck. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, dude, that scenario is probably honestly like a really realistic because that fool was a gnarly fucking skateboarder. He was down for Thrasher and he happened to like be a model.
Yeah, no,
It happens.
and there was like, yeah, there was a lot of photos of like models and like posing like that, and in those Thrasher, it was kind of really before you saw it hit hard, and I don't know if it was like a marketing plan by Thrasher or whatever.
No
but
fucking way. I don't believe it.
I think
for
it just,
a goddamn second.
I think it just rolled out because it was just a thing like we were talking about. Skateboarding is just a fucking force of nature. It's just strong.
Well, I mean, to kind of like go away from the Thrasher thing for a sec. On that note of how strong and forceful it is, bro, you can't tell me you haven't met a skateboarder that is just like, again, real skateboarders who are dedicated. And even if they're just like crackheads or something, they're the fucking gnarliest people. They were so intense. It's insane. I mean, I feel like I do. That's probably wrong. If you've met me, you know I'm pretty intense. So that's just how it happens. I don't see it that way sometimes, but everybody who like I've talked to, they're like, no, dude, you're pretty intense. I feel like that's a skateboarder, especially people who are fucking down. Like you break a bone, you fucking bust your ass, you bust your face, you hit your head a couple times. Yo, for sure I got some CTE from slapping my head a couple times. But there's a certain type of respect that regardless of the fucking clothes that you're wearing or the music you're listening to, when you see somebody who's as committed as you are, that transcends all that other bullshit. And you're like, yo, what the fuck is up, homie? Like, what's really good?
You could relate on that level.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's not some real shit. Because everything else is so like, I don't want to say materialistic.
It's like arbitrary. You don't
It's
really,
arbitrary. That's a way better word to say it. Because it's like, fuck it, dude. Who cares? We're all in this together. At the end of the day, we're going to fucking shred. That's all that it comes down to. That's why I love having skateboard guests on. Boom, son.
Fuck yeah.
Salud.
Salud.
That's why, dude. That's why I fuck with so many skateboarders. Like, I fuck with everybody that is really on the hustle grind. I don't care if you skate. If you don't skate, that's fine. But if you skate and you out here hustling and you're fucking getting it, that is more so probably the person that I want to talk to even the most because, again, of all the topics that we've touched on, I mean, like the mentality, the fact that you're not getting hurt, the fact that you still skate. You still skate Imperial Beach Park?
Yep.
Dude.
Not as much as I used to, but still once in a while, yep.
So what's your park now you frequenting?
I've been hitting up Chicano a lot. I like Chicano Park.
Okay. let's bookmark that for a second. Let's just put Chicano Park on there for a sec. But that's what I'm saying. To have you on, it's like, again, this is not throwing shade at any of my other guests, but to have skateboarders who are doing it, just like Nick Shields and Ruben, what they're doing with their videography and shit like that, it's like, son, hell yeah. Like, let's fucking do this. Let's get your shit out there. Let's, like, keep pumping each other up.
It's motivating, huh?
It is. It fucking is, because we have to keep going. We have to have those people in, I feel like, in leadership positions to really kind of push it forward. And like on some deeper shit, on some like human shit, rather than fucking like I'm trying to be a boss, I'm trying to tell you what the fuck to do. It's like, nah, bro, like you keeping that scene alive, you're keeping your vibe alive, you're keeping people employed. You're a skateboarder, you still skate, you're making sure people are eating. And that, at the end of the day, like, fuck a skateboard. You're letting people eat. That's on some way deeper shit. On some real shit. But it's because of skateboarding that you've been able to transcend and, like, take the values that you've learned from skateboarding and apply it to real life. Mm-hmm. And that's, like, real shit. That's real life lessons right there.
Yeah.
Yo. How do you feel about that, bro?
It's a trip when I think about it, but I'm super proud of my team, my shop, and to be part of the skate community too, for sure.
Yeah,
because like they kind of like guided me in a way. It just it showed me like what's up, basically.
Yeah, I'm about that. Do you feel skateboarding, regardless of how old you get, is gonna be like a key factor in what you're doing?
Yeah, for sure. It's a part of my life, dude.
Yeah.
Skateboarding is life. And I need that balance of having to be able to go skate and skate it off, fucking get some grinds and, like just get out there. It's part of life. You got to be out there at all times.
Yep.
Body in motion stays in motion.
Ooh, I've never heard that before. A body in motion stays in motion.
Yep. Yeah, and a body at rest stays at rest, So you got to keep moving.
Dude, you got to keep moving. I don't understand how people can just be so like stagnant. Yeah, on the real. I was talking to my homie Demetrius the other day, and I mean, it has no real reference to this actual discussion, but the one thing that he said, he was like, sometimes you just got to jump into that abyss. That like scary black abyss that nobody wants to jump into.
Yep. And you don't really know what the fuck is in there, dude. That's another thing, you know what I mean? Like you could talk about it in different forms of like, skateboarding or different things, but in business, big time. It's like you don't know what the fuck you're jumping into sometimes, but like a true entrepreneur, you're figuring it out on the way.
Yep.
Same with skateboarding. Like you don't really know that you're going to be jumping off stairs or you're going to be flying in the air or doing this and that. You don't really know yet, but you figure it out on the way. You work your way up to that, like to that spot.
Or you meet fools who are just like so much better than you, and you're down, and they know you're down, so they take you under their wings, and like you start getting better. They
inspire you, yeah. They inspire you, and they like push you to do better. And like, shout out to my homie Nigel. He fucking came through a year ago and worked at the shop, and he really fucking inspired me to do better at screen printing. He showed me like a bunch of shops he was kind of following. He was really into the scene of screen printing. So I was like, damn, never really, I've always been so like wrapped up in the things I'm doing and constantly like improving myself in the shop every day that I don't really pay attention to like, what's going on in other people's shops and the scene of the actual print world. Yeah. So I started getting really into that, and he fucking motivated me to get all up in there, and just fucking, I'm hyped.
That's what's up. Dude, that's fucking tight. That actually leads me to a question I want to ask you. So you said screen printing scene. Is there like on Instagram, is there solid screen printers out there, people who are like pushing the envelope, people you might look up to or inspire you in a sense?
For sure. There's a lot of printers out there. When I was starting off, some of the most inspirational people was like Screaming Squeegees and Watson Laminates. Those are people that are printing boards and have years of experience, and they're just like really inspired me. But as far as like formally today, there's a lot of shops out there doing big things for sure. Upstate Merch is one that I really I look up to those guys big time. And then another one I wanted to mention is Shirt Kong. Shirt Kong is super dope, and I really look up to them. Actually, shout out to them because they came like recently to San Diego and came to my shop and just like did a little evaluation, told me like what I was missing, told me the stuff I needed to hear, like, oh, you might be missing a couple of this, that, but add this because it'll increase production. And there's someone that's like, they've like, in my opinion, they're really mastering the automation game. And so there's people I really look up to as far as that and progressing from a manual shop to automated shop. And that's just someone I really look up to, and shout out to them for coming through and, you know what I mean, giving me really valuable information that I wouldn't even been able to learn probably if I paid money to go to some seminar or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that valuable shit that's like, dude, damn. And they did it, just because they're cool, just cool people.
Yeah. Do you feel that automation is going to be replacing jobs in your like, I guess in your craft?
It somewhat can. It actually, all automation does is increase the process. So it's really like this, people have to run the machine. So there's still people running it. There just might be less amount of people involved just because we're narrowing it down to like basically like the best one, the people that, run the machines the best and are really good for our shop and help us keep our customers happy with quality products.
Yeah. Do you see that something that might be replacing you sometime in the near future, or is like, are we talking like 5, maybe 10 years?
No, just, as my shop grows little by little, I think there might be some more tools that we're going to be using that are going to really automate the process, maybe like cleaning screens or maybe coding them. But those people are still going to have to run those machines, there won't be someone cleaning all day, for example, but there's going to be somebody loading in all the screens to make sure they get clean and taking them all out, putting them away. So it's just going to speed up the process rather than replace anyone,
Interesting.
So it's cool. It's cool to look at it that way sometimes.
Dude, that's tight. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't really know much about it, but I mean, I guess even my cousin, shout out Rylan, he got tatted like he has like a screen printing like tattoo like on his forearm.
I got one right here too.
Dude, yeah. Basically right there, yeah.
Squeegee probably most likely or something.
I think it's a squeegee and it says like print or die or something like that. Like
shit.
Like tough. It's something tough. Like if I had my phone, like
I wonder, somebody sent me a photo of something like that. I wonder if it was him.
Dude, it might have been because he's G. He also has his own little pin company. He does pins and shit in Hawaii, and he has his own clothing company it's called No Apologies Worldwide. So he's like super hustler. Love it. He's just out here grinding hard, but he is like at trade. He's a screen printer, and he fucking loves it.
That's what's tight. See, like I meet a lot of these people similar. They're like, it's just like kind of like the skateboard industry. It's like you kind of know you're in the same field, and it's like fuck yeah. Yeah. Of course, there's always those people like maybe like vibe you out, or they're not like the coolest people. Yeah. Those people are everywhere.
That happens.
You know what I mean? Like it's like you meeting a barista that's like a fucking kind of a jerk or like a fucking snob. It's like, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like
who
just
cares?
chill, bro.
Who cares?
But see, the thing about it, dude, I am a fish out of water when it into coffee, and that's no hate towards anybody in coffee. Everybody who has met me in coffee has been like so chill. Shout out to everybody who's cool as fuck. But there's definitely some aspects about myself that have not transcended into coffee. Like my gold grill this past weekend in Aliso Viejo.
not like super stoked on it. They were there, but I was like, fuck it, like whatever. This is what I am. It's the Bay Area, and it's what we do here. But at the same time, even within coffee, how loud and boisterous I am, and my hip hop kind of influence. You have people. I don't know if you know, like Father John Misty is, or like other these like kind of emo kind of indie folk music, which is great. I love it. It does sound good because I listen to a lot of it. But they're like, "Yo, Connor, you want the radio?" I'm like, "Yo, let me get that radio, son." Like, and I chose some of this like super gangster ass rap on, especially if it's after hours, or just other shit. Because it's like, "Yo, bro, I'm not from coffee. Coffee is not like what I was born to do, but coffee is something that I love, and it's what I feel like I'm supposed to do."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna bring my skateboarding ass, my fucking hip hop ass, and I'm gonna bring all that, and I'm gonna fucking converge it into coffee, and I'm gonna make my own shit.
Yeah, that's tight, dude.
You know what it is? Like, it just, fuck it, dude. Fuck having an image.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Break that fucking image.
Yeah,
Straight
exactly.
up. Like, on the real.
Yep.
I'm on, fuck that. No way. Boom,
Yep.
Cheers, son.
Cheers, son.
On the real.
Yeah, break all stereotypes, man.
Break a
Fuck
fucking
that shit.
stereotype. Dude, just because you're not... like, for me, the one thing that my friend Eric... I don't know why this always has stood out to me. It was just like such an insignificant moment. But my friend Eric Sepulveda, in high school, we were freshmen. We were like 14 years old. And this fool came to school. He had like a blue S shirt with like, it was a black like block, the old black block. And it said S at the bottom in white. And he had like black jeans on. He had a white undershirt underneath the blue shirt. And then he had these like ballin' ass, I don't remember what the fuck Nike shoe it was, but it was black and blue. And I was like, yo, dude, you wearing fucking Jordans or Nikes or whatever, some basketball shoes, and you're fucking a skateboarder. What are you doing? He's like, give me a board right now, bro. I'll fucking kickflip on that shit. Like 3 flip. What do you want? He's like, I don't give a fuck what shoes I'm wearing. And I was all, for me, that moment was something that I remembered for like the rest of my life. And we're the same age, but it was that moment when I talked to him, and it was like maybe because he was a skateboarder, but it was also the fact that he didn't give a fuck. He's bro, I'll fucking skate.
It's part of the skate culture.
It's
truly
part of
like if you fucking are a skater, you do not give a fuck.
And that's
Especially
why
about
it
what
was
is orthodox and all this bullshit.
Yes.
It's like
wearing an
really?
S shirt with some Nikes, and when we're like that young, and he's like, I'm still gonna do me. Like,
yeah, and he's like, I'll still do this shit right in front of you.
yeah,
What?
yeah, and he
like,
did, dude. He fucking busted out a kickflip and a tray flip in those, and like steezy too. It wasn't like some like hack shit.
Yeah.
That to me, I don't actually think I've ever said this out loud, but like I'll tell him about this. But that to me was like one of those defining moments. Like that was like when people say that was so punk rock, that to me was like so punk rock.
Yeah, it was like that fucking awe-inspiring moment. I was like, wow, he didn't give a fuck.
He didn't give a fuck. He did not give a fuck, and that is the bottom line. And that's skateboarding here.
Yeah, I also think that's why, it contributes to skateboarding being so cool.
Yeah.
It's like that same punk rock and roll fucking mentality of like, I don't give a fuck, and I'm gonna express myself however the fuck I am gonna do it,
Yeah.
And it's super cool, man, for sure.
I completely agree. To me, I don't really believe that there is a divide. I mean, you might listen to punk rock music or heavy metal or fucking indie folk. If you have that mentality, that shit transcends all that. Like I've said, earlier in this conversation. But one of my favorite friends ever, his name is Romeo. This fool was so fucking punk rock, dude. Had the tightest pants, always rocked some slip-ons. And he would go Mach 10 at flat bars. Like 100% every time. And dude, I seen him sack a flat bar twice on the same trick doing front blunts because he didn't believe. His whole thing was like, you have a flat bar, you know how you have like the bar at the end and the bar at, like on both ends, right? He's like, you have to ollie before the bar, get in the rail, and then come out.
Yeah.
He's like skating this end bullshit. He was like, nah. Like, or if you're like ollie and then ollie from the crack into the middle of the rail, he's like, nah. You have to ollie like before the fucking bar and then hit the rail because that's really what it's gonna be like.
Yeah.
But dude, because of that, he also sacked the flat bar twice.
Yeah. Damn. See, there you go. But that's what it is, though. It's fucking no risk, no reward kind of shit. It's a you pay to play.
You pay to fucking play.
It's the fucking, you pay the toll.
I think that's also too why, I mean, I don't know if you ever smoked cigarettes, but I smoked cigarettes pretty tough for a while, and I like got sucked into that part of skateboarding. But I remember Romeo was like the first dude I remember meeting because he went so tough on a skateboard at all times that when he sacked a flat bar, I was like, you probably need a cigarette after that. That type of shit right there is like, bro, you sacked like a 5-inch flat bar off the ground. Yeah, give me a cig, G. And then you're just going to sit there and puff tough. Like, how the fuck did that happen?
Yeah. Yeah, I never got into the
lung darts.
Yeah, and the lung darts. Yeah, the cigarettes. I always just said,
you're lucky.
Fuck it. I just always smoked just weed only, man.
So lucky.
Yeah.
I got fully caught up in that, and I loved it, too. It was fucked up.
It's dangerous.
Dude, it really is. I mean, I think at one point in my life, I think I actually went and got my lungs checked, and I had like, they said it was like a 3 millimeter wide absence, not absence of fucking
like res or whatever the fuck.
There was something in my lungs. They were like, it could be, I think I was like 26. They were like, it could be from natural gases in the air, all these other things, but you smoke. And I was like, yeah, they're like, how long you been smoking? It's like, since I was 18.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, well, that's probably, they're like, how many packs of cigarettes do you smoke a day? Dude, at one point I was smoking like a pack of cigs a day.
Oh, fuck.
Like tough.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But that was definitely, as I got older, I was like, nah, bro. Like, I'll smoke a spliff tough, but straight cigs, like, I stopped pretty soon after that. He's like, dude, do I really want to die off smoking cigarettes?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Nobody does.
That's fucking tough.
Yeah.
But hey, if you're smoking cigs, whatever. Like, I have so many friends who smoke cigs. It doesn't bother me.
Yep.
For me personally, I just
can't do it no more.
I couldn't do it no more.
Yeah, no, fuck yeah. I can't do it no. I never did do it, but like, I can't ever start. Shit's trippy.
Dude, the shit
too
I used to
strong
put
for
my
me.
body through, if you really think about it, I'd be like skating. Like, I lived in OB, and I would skate from my house to the skate park, mashing, smoking a cig, and then smash around the park, smoking a cig, like, in hand. Bro, that shit, how the fuck were my lungs even working? Like, I don't even understand this.
Yeah, I know, it's a trip. You do it for longer and longer, and they work less. So you gotta be careful.
It's fucked up. Yeah, I'm glad I realized it when I did. Honestly.
Do they fucking put any images on the cigarette cartons over here? Like when you buy a cigarette?
No, not like in Europe. In Europe, they do.
They do that in Mexico too. Like some crazy like images.
Dude.
I always look at them at when my homies have them because like in Mexico, like everyone smokes cigarettes, for example.
Yeah.
And I always look at them because they're on every packet like of what the side effects are, and just it's so fucking gnarly that I always look at it and I'm just like, damn, and and you still smoke it, and they're just like, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, fuck it.
Fuck it. Exactly.
It's like, damn, dude, they warn your ass like this is what's gonna happen to you, and you're fucking just smoking a pack a day. It's like,
dude,
God
they
damn.
have in Europe. There was one. I don't know. I don't think about a pack of cigarettes in Europe, but we were around a bunch of people who had cigarettes, and there would be like pictures of dead babies, like just like these red little babies that got born, stillborns or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they'd have like pictures of your lungs.
Yeah.
Pictures of
like your teeth or some shit
Dude,
like that.
your
like
gums.
or someone with like a hole in their throat, 'cause
Yeah.
they can't breathe.
Yep.
Or some crazy shit. There was always some really crazy shit, and yeah. It's kind of a trip that they don't do that over here. I wonder why.
Big money, baby.
Big money. They probably
Yeah.
pay for that. Like, nah, we ain't doing that. Here's the
Dude,
money.
They're
Here's the
like,
check.
nah. Yeah. Like that movie, Thank You for Smoking. Like, bro, there's nothing over here that makes you think that it's like bad. They just know that it looks cool.
Yeah.
It's still to this day. Yo, I'm not going to lie. As a person who smoked for probably 10 years, I believe fully. I'm not an addictive personality, but I fully believe that like after a while, you see people just smoking mad cigs and shit like that. You're like, yo, I'm probably going to go smoke a cig right now.
Yeah. I definitely think that there is, like, people get addicted to the act of smoking.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? And it's like one time I was in Mexico and, you know, I just felt like smoking. All my friends were smoking. And I was like, why do I have the urge to like smoke now? I didn't have any weed or anything. So I was like,
That's
fuck.
probably too.
But I have the urge to smoke. And then like, I just kind of realized that it's just sort of addicting, the act of smoking at least.
Well, dude, I was just talking about this the other day to my homie Andrew. When I was in Italy with my wife, every night we were there in Florence for like 4 days, and every fucking night the bar would go popping hella late. People just smoking cigs, drinking wine, drinking beer in this like little alleyway where our hotel was. And so finally, I think, dude, it might have been on the fucking last night. We went out there. You can get 2 full cups of red wine for €3, or a fucking like water. No, for €4, and the water was $3. It's like, give me the fucking wine, son. Let me get that wine. So we get the wine, and then I don't know where we got the cig, but I told her, I was like, yo, I want to smoke a cigarette. And this is like a couple months ago, and I just went over there, and it was just because we were in the vibe, and I'd seen it for like 4 days. I wanted to just do it. And so we sat there, and I just smoked a cigarette and drank red wine in this like alley in Florence. And I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yep.
But it wasn't something super crazy either. It was just like,
It's just like something you
did I really need to do that?
It's like sometimes you kind of want to experience, like when in Rome, you know?
Oh my
It's
God,
like-
dude. We were actually in Rome for the first 3 days of that trip. And we were like, the first night, we're like, well, when in Rome? And we're like, okay, that's already over.
Yeah.
That's already done. Like, this is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's like, wow, it's how cliche.
Yeah, it's so lame. So lame. But either way, dude, it's already getting pretty late, and we're already done an hour and a half.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, let's wrap it up, and we'll
Of course.
fucking well, now that you've been on the show, you're definitely coming back.
Of course. Just
Fuck
let me
yeah.
know when, and I'll be back.
Dude, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Tell the people where they can find you. Juan.
If anybody wants to find me, we're at Squeegee Prints for Instagram. If
All one word.
Yep. And then you guys can find us on YouTube as well. We're just at Squeegee Prints. Facebook, Squeegee Prints.
All Squeegee Prints.
All Squeegee Prints, basically, yeah. And then most importantly, if anyone wants to place an order or get in touch, they just go to our website. That's squeegeeprints.com.
Yep.
Ask for a quote, fill out the small form. No DMs, please. No DMs.
No
Instagram
DMs.
We don't do that. Yeah. Yeah.
But slide into my DMs so we could talk about if you guys really think I should be interviewing some people to slide through, like my boy Juan Carlos. Shout out Shieldless Mag. Shout out all those homies who made this happen. And Juan, thank you so much for coming through tonight, bro.
Awesome, man.
Let me
Thank you
get
so much
some.
for having me, man. I'm really stoked.
Yes. Fuck yeah. All right, Juan. Peace.
Peace, brother.